I'm Diane Well, Marketing and Insights Director at Springboard. This year's been a really interesting and indeed challenging one for retailers. There's been lots of news in the press around retailers that have had some trading challenges and the failures of some retailers. But it has been a difficult year for a variety of reasons. Much has been talked about the weather, and the weather has played a massive part in what's happened this year. We've had some very extreme weather conditions, from a very cold winter through to a very, very hot summer. So when the cold weather hit in February and March, footfall plummeted, reaching -6% across all destinations and -8% in high streets, -9%. So it's been really, really cold, and that's really affected the way people shop. That extended through to April, and April was distorted because Easter this year was actually in March, whereas it's usually in April. So April didn't get the uplift in footfall that it would normally get. So footfall was suppressed then. Moving forward into summer, economic pressures started to bite, and much wasn't really talked about economic pressures early on in the year. It was all focused on the weather, but really, as we moved through the year, it became evident that it was the economic pressures on households that are restraining spending. And that's evident through all the economic indicators. Consumer confidence remains very low, although stable from last year, but still very low. Consumer debt is very, very high, at the highest level since 2007, and credit card spending remains very high. And so consequently, households are likely to pull back on spending because they simply overstretch themselves. And then, of course, wage inflation, which was outpaced by price inflation for the whole of last year, has only just latterly caught up. So households will have used debt to fund activities and spending, and now they have to replace that money in their piggy banks in advance of Christmas. So it's likely spending has been constrained by many consumers wanting to pay down debt in advance of Christmas. The coming months are interesting. We have Christmas, and we have Black Friday, and then we have Christmas. And we've seen in footfall terms at Springboard that footfall has declined virtually every year for the past 5 or 6 years in both periods of those. Black Friday, turning to Black Friday first, it's a relatively new initiative, although trying to become mature. And at the same time, it's a very confused part of the trading calendar. In the States, it's very much an in-store experience. It's about retailers driving consumers to bricks and mortar stores to experience that feel good and get them out after Thanksgiving. Here, it's not so much like that. It's more about an online experience, and that, of course, diverts trade out of bricks and mortar. So for retailers around Black Friday, I would probably say stay out of Black Friday completely and make the in-store experience as good as it can be, and encourage consumers to go into stores around Black Friday time, create an experience that drives them in and takes away the need and the want for discounting. The third element I would say around Black Friday is about stock, making sure it's available in store. So that's around Black Friday. Moving forward to Christmas, once again, Christmas has over the years seen a decline in footfall in each year because we can buy with immediacy and continuity through the year. We don't need to buy around Christmas for Christmas now. And also Black Friday has brought forward some of the trade that we used to see in December. And the key elements that I talked about Friday hold through to Christmas, but even in greater extremis, really. It's about driving people into store, making sure they want to come out. The networks are there, the stores are there. What we don't want are empty stores. What we want are buzzy, exciting experiences and consumers making the most of those. At Springboard, we track footfall in retail destinations across our high streets, our shopping centres and our retail parks. We also track footfall into stores. And so we can identify the proportion of footfall in our destinations that actually enter stores, and we call this the capture rate. And this is absolutely critical for retailers, and it's the market share of stores in their locations. And retailers really need to aim for a stable or increasing capture rate. They do not want to have a declining capture rate. And it describes the ability of a store to maximise the trading potential of a location. What we've seen at Springboard over the last couple of years is a declining capture rate across the UK. So proportionally, retailers are losing more footfall than the destinations themselves. And this represents a real challenge for retailers because ultimately they've got fewer shoppers that they can sell to in their stores. So consequently, they need to drive more sales from those shoppers. So at Christmas and Black Friday trading periods, this becomes ever more important to sell more to those shoppers, increase average transaction values, convert more of those shoppers, so increase those shoppers' conversion rates. Really, really important. And it's that way that retailers can counteract the impact of discounting and the impact of online on bricks and mortar performance.